London travel to Perpignan for the second time in 2 months, desperate to repeat their incredible victory at the Stade Gilbert Brutus last time out. Defeat today could leave the Broncos cut adrift from all but the losers of tomorrow's clash between Hull KR and Wakefield, as the Dragons look to climb above Castleford and Salford, who go to Hull today in the scrap for that fifth and final playoff spot. Round 26 kicked off with big wins for St Helens, as Kevin Nagama made it a hat-trick of hat-tricks this season, and 24 hours later for Wigan, whose victory over the Wolves puts them level in second spot with Warrington and Hull FC. Elsewhere today, 4th and 5th go head-to-head at the KCOM Stadium, as Salford look to halve the gap to Hull FC. And there's 2 huge matches tomorrow, with 3 of the bottom 4 all in action. Huddersfield host the top 5 chasing Tigers, while the Giants welcome Hull KR with 2 crucial Super League points at stake. The league leaders now 16 points clear at the top, with the Wolves, Wigan and Hull FC separated only by points difference right now. Points difference also keeps the Red Devils in that all-important 5th spot, ahead of Castleford and the Dragons, with Leeds 2 points above Wakefield, the Giants and Hull Kingston Rovers having played a game more. That trio currently 2 clear of the Broncos ahead of their matches tomorrow. Let's have a look at the way these 2 teams line up then, and despite losing by 40, Dragons coach Steve McNamara makes just 1 change to the 17 beaten at Leeds 8 days ago. Only try scorer at Headingley, Michael Gudemond, is replaced by Benjamin Garcia, who bagged a cup final try in London 12 months ago. So the Dragons have Tony Gigo at full-back, then it's David Mead, Artur Romano, Braden Williame and Lewis Tierney. Samisoni Langi partners Greg Bird in the halves. The front row is Sam Cassiano, who's all right after his exploits last week. Alex da Costa continues at hooker, and Julian Busquet completes the front row. The second row is Matt Whitley alongside Benjamin Garcia, with Remy Casti, the captain, and loose forward. On the substitutes bench for Steve McNamara, Kenny Edwards, Michael Simon, Lucas Albert and Anthony Maria. Broncos boss Danny Ward names the same starting 13 that won here in June, with the exception of Brock Lamb, who's come in for Morgan Smith at halfback, and Will Lovell, who starts in place of Matty G. Alex Walker is the Broncos fullback, then Kieran Dixon, Ryan Morgan, who is a welcome return, the former St Helens centre, so much quality there, Elliot Keir and Rhys Williams, Jordan Abdul alongside Brock Lamb in the halves. Up front, it's Eddie Batty, James Cunningham and Olsi Krasniki. Will Lovell is alongside Jay Pitts, the skipper in the second row, and Luke Yates is the loose forward. On the substitutes bench for Danny Ward, it's Matty Fozzard and Matty G, Daniel Hindmarsh and the debutant Guy Armitage, former England Rugby Union under-20s international, the brother of Dylan and Stefan Armitage, who are, of course, both full internationals in their careers, and big things expected of him. 3 tries on his Scholars debut last week in a 23-22 defeat at Doncaster, and now the former London Welsh, London Scottish, London Irish and Wasps player comes in for his Rugby League bow. Plenty to look forward to here. I'm delighted to say I've got Barry McDermott in the commentary box for this one. And really, it's all about this run of London's. They desperately need the 2 points, Barry, but they've won just 1 of their last 7 under real pressure.
But more importantly for the London Broncos, amongst those 8 wins in 2019, 1 of them was away in an impressive win against the Catalan Dragons. You can see the players just getting together, supporting one another, maybe talking about what they want to get out of this game. And I think if they can attack this game, play it quick, as they did back in June when they got the victory, 30 points to 12, they absolutely blew the Dragons away, then they'll give themselves an excellent chance. But the Dragons, for them, it's not structurally, it's not technically, tactically or physically. They've got to get it right. They've got to get the temperament right. We've seen them the last time they were at home when they played the Warrington Wolves, they imploded, and then away at Leeds Rhinos last weekend, they were absolutely demolished by the Rhinos and undid themselves on a number of occasions. So they've got to get themselves right in the top 2 inches.
Such a change from 12 months ago. Catalan preparing for the biggest game in their history. They went on to beat Warrington and take the Challenge Cup outside the UK for the first time in its history. An incredible day. Well, 12 months on, the quest for a playoff place is very much on a knife edge with 4 matches left. One of two key fixtures in round 26 today. Hull could go second as they host the Salford side, looking to open up a 2-point cushion in that crucial 5th spot. And events here hugely significant at both ends of the table as well.
Still got me a list, Cam.
Catalan big winners at the Ealing Trailfinders ground over Easter. Matt Whitley was the 2-try hero. Sam Tompkins contributed 19 points, 7 goals, a try and a drop goal. He's not available today, suspended. That could be a big miss for the Dragons. There is the cup final hero, Tony Gigo. Next try for him, incidentally, will bring up the half-century in Catalan colours.
We also then caught a glimpse of two really important players. Greg Bird, who play in the standoff role, Remy Casti, the captain, the talisman at the back of the scrum. And those two players will need to step up. You've got to stop yourself from focusing on who isn't available for the Catalans. The Dragons always play better when they've got Michael McAlorum in the ranks, and Sam Tompkins has been that spark throughout his time as a Dragons player. He has been that spark. He's been an organiser as well, so somebody will have to step up and take over both those responsibilities.
Yeah, good.
McAlorum also suspended following events at the end of the match against Warrington. So that means back-to-back starts for Alrix da Costa. 27 degrees in Perpignan.
Let's stay behind, boys.
Looking forward to some red-hot action on the field as well as Liam Moore prepares to get this one underway.
Time it, boys.
London overachievers in 2018, and they've surpassed October's £1 million game win in Toronto by remaining competitive through 25 Super League rounds. Not many judges believed that was possible at the start of this season as we get this one underway, and the restart flies out on the full.
Oh, wow, for the home team to kick the ball out on the full, that's a massive mistake. Hopefully that isn't a sign of things to come for the Catalan Dragons, but the Broncos, well, they'll get a kick, they'll kick to touch, and they'll get a little look at the Dragons line really early in this game.
Which way are you going, mate? Okay.
Worst possible start for Steve McNamara, but London will love this. Gilt-edged opportunity to attack inside the opening 30 seconds here in a game they have to win. Krasniki first up for the Broncos.
Move! Here, Matt. Hold! Goal one.
It's 22 metres away. That was Brock Lamb, the danger man for London. It's a heavy tackle on him. Cassiano in there.
Well, big man on little man there. Cassiano involved.
Relax.
He's probably aware of the threat that Brock Lamb will pose. Smaller, more agile players will often target big men in the middle. And they tend to do that when those bigger players, those diesel burners, are a little bit fatigued, but he showed his cards and showed his hand early on, Brock Lamb.
Two.
We're going to take the 2 points on offer, or attempt to take the 2 points on offer. Kieran Dixon, a lightning quick player.
Boys.
Here we see the tackle again. Low from Benjamin Garcia, and then again just a little bit too much effort there put in by two big men on a smaller, more agile player. But Kieran Dixon, watch out for his speed.
It was Garcia who was really the aggressor there. And that's given Kieran Dixon the chance to land the 2 points. He's looking for his 66th goal in Super League this year.
Back on.
And inside 2 minutes, London Broncos hit the front 2-0.
A nice strike by the winger. That'll settle the nerves of the away side.
What? Mate, we've got to be careful.
Not had to work too hard for that.
We've got to be careful.
Kick out on the full by the Catalan Dragons. And then a basic mistake.
You've got to go
right. Penalty given away. A needless penalty from Benjamin Garcia.
2-0 London up then, and they've got the ball back with the point scorer Dixon there. Krasniki crashes into that Catalan defensive wall.
Stand!
Cassiano in there.
Big job on for the middlemen for the Broncos. Bati Krasniki, Luke Yates, as you see, playing the ball there. Yates made big strides in our game. Second on the chart defensively. Behind Danny Houghton, puts a mountain of work in defensively, but also carts the pigskin up as well.
4, move! Goal 4.
Eddie Batty, that latest carry.
5.
Da Costa
Move.
rocked back.
Hold. Stand
Good
up. Goal. 5.
Pressure again from Yates. Arguably
Outside,
the
kick
signing of
Rossi.
Super League 24. Only Danny
Eddie, give him
Houghton
10.
betters his 1,007 tackles in
Well.
Super League football this season. Luke Yates been a huge addition to this Broncos outfit.
Confident
1.
take from Tierney.
Move, Rossi.
Not too much pressure on him,
Hold.
but it was high and hanging,
Go
and he
on.
gets midfield now. He's trying to open the field up for the next ball carrier, David Mead. But David Mead, much
2.
like
Move.
Kieran Dixon,
Hold,
a
Luke.
spark player that
Hold.
can score a try
Trap
from
in.
anywhere
Goal
with
2,
that
don't
blistering
trap.
pace and agility he has.
3rd. Move, Luke. Hold.
Yates on defensive duty, brings down
Get
Romano
the
and then
rock.
takes too long to do that. And so Catalan Dragons have the penalty, and some
Behind
good
him,
London
Lewis.
pressure comes to nothing.
It was a good collision, wasn't it, from the Broncos?
Go on, mate.
And when the
Behind him,
player,
boys.
Romano, ricocheted from that tackle, because it was more shoulder contact than control. The London Broncos players went back in, and the referee, Liam Moy, didn't like it. He blew his whistle. He said, that's too long for me.
Go.
Garcia for
1.
the Broncos.
Move. Hold.
Keep you updated with events
Go
at
on.
the KCOM Stadium as well. And Salford have hit the front. They lead by 6 points to 0.
2. Move it. Hold it. Hold. Go. 2.
Cassiano for Catalan. It was Da Costa who got the ball away, and Busquets
Still
now
2.
with a really nice flick. Busquets, Dragons leading offloader in Super League with 39, and now he's brought up the 40 with that
3rd.
contribution.
Move, Jordan.
Well, if he
Hold.
has the most and the
Stand
biggest
up.
amount of numbers, then
Go 3rd.
Cassiano has the biggest variety.
Okay.
Really good pick up from David
4.
Mead there.
Move. Back here.
Continue this
Hold.
attack for
Go
Catalan
4.
Dragons. Looking for the first try of the game. Comes to Casti. Fed by Greg Bird.
5. Move. Goal 5.
Last
Jason,
one
boys.
for the Dragons. It's a kick from Tony Gigo. It's teasing. And Alex Walker does
Go on,
exactly
Dupper.
what was required in the nick of time there and just turns the ball
Shot clock on.
dead. It will be a repeat set for Catalan Dragons, but London won't worry about that.
He takes no chances, Alex Walker. He has the ball in his hands. I don't know whether Danny Ward, watching this,
Time off.
might have expected his fullback to have a go. Only one defender to beat. He is the big man. It's one of the great
Let's go
mysteries
then,
in
Jordan.
Super League. Just how heavy is Sam Cassiano? I think he's up
Come
near
on, Jordan.
22, 23 stones in old metric weight,
Shot
but he's
clock
a
off.
big man with all the skills of a standoff.
Restart finds Gigo on halfway, and Cassiano charges it back in again.
1.
Cunningham
Move.
clings
Back
on
here. Hold.
bravely
Goal
there.
1.
Jay Pitt's in there as well for the Broncos. Here is Gigo, and now Busquets. Can't get
2.
the off-road away this time.
Move, Will.
Well locked
Hold.
up there
Goal 2.
by Lovell.
Get out the rug, Will.
Solid progress forward, though, from the Dragons.
3rd.
Get the feel that they've
Move
got
all
the
the way
measure of
in.
this match right
Hold.
now.
Hold.
Trail by 2, though.
Goal 3rd.
6 minutes gone, but they're just 12 metres away as Gigo feeds Greg Bird. He can't offload the ball under pressure there from Jay Pitts.
4. Move, Jay. Hold. Goal 4.
So close, though. It's a scampering run there.
He's over the line,
Held up
isn't
on
he,
tackle
Romano?
5.
Romano held up, yeah.
On the 10, mate.
Some decent work there by
On
the
the 10
Catalan
after.
Dragons. They're mixing
Goal
it
line.
up well, they're spreading the
Goal line
ball
here, 5.
and then looking around the
Go.
play of the ball, targeting behind the ruck.
Still the last 10 for the Catalan Dragons, and over the top from Gigo. Oh, Tierney with his inches away from taking that.
Handover.
Dixon in there as well. It's going to be the handover.
Get them out there, mate.
And he just acknowledges the error
Mate, it's
there,
just on the
maybe
10, Ellis.
Lewis Tierney, but he was under real pressure from Dixon. But a good chance
Back
wasted
up,
by the
boys, Sam.
Dragons.
That is a wasted chance, you're right.
Okay,
a
Kieran.
beautiful decision to go across the face of 2 players. He's outside Dixon, his opposite number, but he just can't
1.
pouch.
Move. Hold, Sam.
Can't
Hold.
pouch that
Goal
ball.
1.
And a moment or 2 ago, I said about the Dragons using the variety
2.
of varying up the play.
Move.
They're spreading the ball,
Hold.
they're using the ball, finding
Goal
space
2.
on the edges, but also just softening up that middle.
3rd.
And once or twice,
Move. Back in,
they've
Sam.
almost got
Hold.
through at the side of the
Goal
play of the
3rd.
ball.
Shot on it.
James Cunningham lively, but then Cassiano
Still
shot
3rd.
out of the line.
Sam on the floor.
Eddie Batty did really well under that pressure
4.
to get the ball away.
Move. Goal 4. On 10.
Good
5.
run from Dixon.
Move.
Takes
Back here, Sam.
the London
Hold.
Broncos into
Goal 5.
Catalan territory. Last one, though. Cunningham gets the ball away, and Abdul tries to hammer the ball over the sideline. It's ricocheted. Comes up for Da Costa, who
Hang
shows
on,
some
mate.
neat footwork here. Da Costa.
1.
Well, that's the first time Jordan Abdul has touched the ball. 7 minutes. He, of course, scored that first try when London Broncos came here and took away the points. He also got a wonderful offload to Reece Williams, so he needs to impose himself a little bit more. We're still early in the game, but Jordan Abdul had a stellar performance on that day, and he'll be disappointed with that kick. He's kicked it more or less straight into Braden Williame, and off the back of that, they then go and give a penalty away. Cheap meters and good field position for the Dragons.
Jordan Abdul, formerly an England Academy standoff against Australia in 2014. His opponent that day, Brock Lamb, who is his half-back partner these days at the Ealing Trailfinders.
Ed. Hold.
Bousquet for the Dragons.
Goal one.
Da Costa. Gigo now.
2. Move
Cassiano.
Line. Hold. Goal
8.5 gone. Catalan Dragons looking for the first try. Gigo. Garcia, has he still managed to keep hold of the ball?
He has, but he did incredibly well, didn't it?
That was Samisoni Langi, and then Casti.
Move, Jay!
Camped under the posts. Steve McNamara's men. Comes back for Langi, just trying to get the ball away, and it's come up for London, and they've fed Kieran Dixon here, and Dixon is really quick. It's going to be a foot race. Dixon against Tierney. Dixon's going to win it. Tierney can't lay a glove on Kieran Dixon, who extends the London Broncos advantage a length to the field try, just as Catalan Dragons were threatening at the other end. Kieran Dixon wins the foot race with Lewis Tierney, and it's London Broncos who have the first try in Perpignan.
Well, that's the blistering pace we talked about. Second occasion they've gone over to their left side, trying to find Tierney on the edge, but an arm snakes out by one of the London Broncos players. He hands it on to Kieran Dixon. And you can see from that picture, those images there, the last 12 or 15 minutes, sorry, the last 12 or 15 metres, he's jogging. He's beaten them all with plenty to spare, Kieran Dixon. He'll now attempt to try and make 4 into 6 after that long-range try. But what a player Kieran Dixon is. When he's at his best, he's as good as any winger in the league.
An early birthday present for Kieran Dixon. Turns 27 on Thursday. He's come up with all the points so far in this one. I'm looking for 2 more now from the sideline. Got a try and 5 goals here in the win in June. He's got the try and looking for 2 goals now early on in this one. This for a 2-score cushion then. Kieran Dixon, it's a brilliant kick.
Yes.
Kieran Dixon writing his name in the early headlines here, and the Broncos lead by 8 points to 0.
What a beautiful kick. It's Ryan Morgan who gets the arm out. He bats the ball up, has his gaze fixed on that ball while it's in the air for that split second, catches it, and he knows what he's got to do. I've got to give it to somebody in a better position and quicker than me. And then Kieran Dixon with an absolutely fantastic conversion gives the lead of 8-0. Well, this is a shock.
1.
Scott Taylor try has levelled things up at the KCOM Stadium. Hull FC 6, Salford 6 now.
2. Move. Hold it, hold. Goal 2.
Cunningham for the Broncos. Jay Pitts, the skipper.
3rd.
Elliot Keir.
Move. Hold. Goal 3rd. Just play, Elliot. 4.
Williams.
Movement. Square markers.
Pressure applied by Bousquet.
5. Move.
Good set developing after points for the London Broncos.
Outside.
Brock Lamb on the end of it. It's a huge kick and some sunlight around for Lewis Tierney to cope with there.
Well, Catalan Dragons taking no chances there. Both wingers and fullback have dropped back, ready for that kick from Brock Lamb.
Goal 1.
And a good set after points.
2.
Get to the kick.
Move, James. Hold, Luke.
And I'm going to add to the comment that I made about it being a shock. I'm not talking about it being a shock to the wider rugby league population. I'm talking about this is a shock to the Catalan Dragons. You can see that they did not expect to be behind 4. by 8 points so early into this match.
Goal 4.
London desperate to ratchet up the fear factor as there's a forward pass there for the Dragons.
Short offloads. They love a short offload. They love a big man bustling through the line. It's Cassiano.
Shot clock on.
At this point here, he loves that short tip-on pass. And the referee, who's in a better position than our camera angles, sees it as forward, and that is the trickery around Sam Cassiano. You don't know whether he's going to run over the top of you, he's going to use that footwork to sidestep around you, go into contact and find an offload, and as we saw on that occasion, he has a short pass. He likes to find a support player and get two attackers running at two defenders while he weaves some edges and finds some space for that support player.
A repeat of their Perpignan win a couple of months ago.
Hold Ulrich's hold.
And that would really ratchet up the fear factor for those in the relegation scrap alongside them. Wakefield, Huddersfield, Hull Kingston Rovers in Leeds.
Move! Back hold, hold.
It's all gone according to Danny Ward's script so far. 25 metres out from that Catalan line, and Batty takes the ball in strongly.
Ball's lost.
Mistake by London.
Mate, you push forward off the mark.
I think that's the first mistake they've made.
There we go, yeah. Shot clock on.
They're still in the opening quarter.
They look which causes the issue back
competent, confident. And you can see he's just trying to get himself out of that clinch. Benjamin Garcia.
Let's get him.
Clinching the player in the tackle. He's trying to extricate the ball and loses control in the process.
Head in, Alex, head down.
You can see the point that Eddie Batty was trying to make. Ben Garcia pulls the ball out. There were other people in the tackle as well. As it is, Greg Bird can emerge after the scrum for the Catalan Dragons. Braden Williame now.
2. Move, I'll say.
Krasniki.
Goal 2.
With the hit. And now Matt Whitley.
Third. Move. Hold, I'll say hold. Goal 3rd. 2
tries in that win. 39 points to 6 at London. Matt Whitley, the real hero of that one. When he ignited his Catalan Dragons career, as Greg Bird carries the ball into contact again.
A lot is going through Sam Cassiano, you can see. Now,
just take your time, Greg.
I've got to be careful how I say this.
Just take your time, just wait.
Greg Bird does that frequently. He gets involved in a tackle. You can see somebody's around his leg, and he does a forward roll there. I've seen that a couple of times. I don't like to see players playing for penalties.
Marcus.
And if I see it, I'm going to call it out, and I'm afraid, Greg Bird, you played for that and got it.
Mate, it's dangerous, you're in the bin.
And there you go. I think they've been very hard done to there. I saw something similar last week. Same player.
I'll speak to you in a second, Jay. I'll speak to you in a second.
Krasniki away in the sin bin. I'm sure you'll see him at some point with both hands just gesture. What was that for? It is dangerous. It looks awful. And you can't expect the referee to spot somebody who's play acting and somebody who's in genuine distress. But I, for one, would like to see that type of stuff out the game by the players. Pack it in.
Cynical from Greg Bird. So much experience, of course. 17 times a Kangaroo. 18 appearances for New South Wales as well, and all that experience for the 35-year-olds resulted in that yellow card for Olsi Krasniki, and maybe that just tips the momentum back Catalan Dragons' way. They trail 8-0 on the scoreboard and trying to halve that deficit with a try here.
Move, Jordan! Line!
Here is Greg Bird. Holds on this time, plays it to Da Costa. Now it's Langi. Cassiano at the line, it's not the best pass, and London come up with it. Really good play there.
Move!
It was Ryan Morgan who was alive quickest. He's missed the last 5 games, but his return is a huge boost in Perpignan for Danny Ward, and just showed real appetite for the ball and the game on that occasion.
Everything is revolving around Sam Cassiano. We've talked about those 2 important players for the Dragons not being available. McAlorum at 9, Tompkins around about the halves. Well, Sam Cassiano, as he's done a lot of times during his career, he's assumed that role. He's almost playing as a standoff. Well, Sami Langi, Sami Langi, should I say, and Greg Bird are going about their business and just playing their normal role.
Play on.
Jordan Abdul looking for the other sideline, but Tony Gigo is there for the Catalan Dragons.
Hold. Get out the ruck.
He's a dangerous player, isn't he, Tony Gigo? That free rein he has at fullback, I think that really suits him. He's trying to get up.
Come on, boys.
The ball is dislodged. Disappointed with that penalty, Danny Ward.
Boys, come out on the move, Carl. Out on move.
2 minutes left of this first quarter.
Go.
A former London Bronco, of course, Tony Gigo. 2 appearances in the capital in 2004, got 4 goals.
Hold.
For the Broncos.
Go on.
And Hull in front. 12 points to 6 now
2.
against Salford. Mickey Payer has gone over the line.
Hold here, hold. Goal 2.
Sneed added the extras. Former Salford half-back, of course. And now Greg Bird. Romano with some space. Locked up in the end by Rhys Williams.
Stand. Goal 3. Okay.
Greg Bird skips, or almost skipped away from Cunningham.
Move, back head.
Hooker did well.
Hold. Play it, Greg. Goal 4.
Cassiano. Gigo.
There's a big cry forward again from that.
It's a really nice kick from Gigo, and Tierney trying to put his foot down.
Play on.
What about that from Alex Walker? First of all, to be in the right position, and then to get the ball out of danger and the right side of that goal area.
And I think there's a shoulder charge at the back end of it here. You can see Tony Gigo sees some space, backs his teammates to pick it up, and at least have a go at scoring the try. But Lewis Tierney, Braden Willie-Army can't get hold of Alex Walker, can't get hold of the ball, and when they do get hold of Alex Walker, the referee doesn't like the look at it. I felt on first watch of it that it was almost a shoulder charge, and we'll see what Liam Moore makes of it.
You can't tuck your arm and shoulder charge. You put problems into your own hands by going to him. That's it, that's the end of it, yes.
Yeah, can't agree with sorry, can't disagree with that.
Well, I don't need a reaction.
Can't disagree with it.
Don't need a reaction from you.
It's a wonderful piece of bravery, wasn't it?
Shoulder charge.
He's trying to get out of his line. Cast your mind back the first couple of minutes, he had the ball. The ball was kicked in the in-goal area, and I actually said I think Danny Ward would have
on the foot,
maybe preferred his fullback to have a go at getting out. Only one defender in front of him on that occasion. He's backed himself and he's got out and earned his side a penalty.
And some clear and decisive refereeing there from Liam Moore.
Hold.
London bossing things in the opening quarter, 8-0 up. Hunting some more points now as Luke Yates tries to get them on the front foot. Quick play the ball.
Gone 10.
As usual for him.
Third. Movement!
By a knock on.
Ball's lost.
It was Elliot Keir who was in the challenge.
Hello. Shot clock on.
Oh, he's got 3 big men in front of him there, Annie Cassiano, Bousquet.
Let's go. Let's get in then, boys.
I think the other one was Sammy Sonny Lang, and the ball comes out. I think they've had a little tug at that as well.
Come on, boys.
The Catalan Dragons, well,
okay, in we go.
I think you get the sense this is a desperate side, this. The last 2 times they've worn the shirt, they haven't cut themselves in glory. The last time they were at home, it was chaotic.
Hold.
Although they got two competition points against Warrington and were the best team, it was absolute chaos at the back end of the game, and James Child having to deal with all manner of issues on and off the field.
London have kept the Dragons scoreless for the first quarter. Anthony Maria with a rumbling run though down the centre of the field.
Hold. Goal third.
Da Costa. That's Casti. Gives it to Bousquet. Had Gigo with him, but couldn't find the offload. It was a really tough ask to get the ball away, in fairness. Here, though, now is Da Costa.
Surrender!
Scampering a couple more metres towards that London Broncos line. Last one coming up. That's how close the Dragons are. Greg Bird gets the ball away. Tony Gigo puts boot to ball. It's not the best kick in truth. And Will Lovell in the right place just to scoop that up.
It's a dreadful kick again.
Go on!
Gigo. Last tackle, we saw a little bit of confusion. Alrix Da Costa ended up with the ball.
Move all the way!
He's looking round thinking, well, this shouldn't be me taking it up. I'm normally the bloke at the back of the play, the ball, passing it on to somebody. It is understandable. They don't have half-backs and a pair of half-backs. But what they've got to do is they've got to sort out who's doing what, who's assuming what responsibility, and be as good as they can be. They look very clunky, to say the least, at the minute.
5. Outside.
Big game next weekend, of course, the Challenge Cup final, Warrington against St Helens. We saw both coaches at the game last night. Some banter going on there on social media today. But Warrington against St Helens, the top two in the Betfred Super League go head-to-head for the Challenge Cup at stake. Highlights with us, Sky Sports Action, next Saturday, 8 o'clock.
Wasn't it fantastic last night with Justin Holbrook, Steve Price, having a little bit of fun. Of course, they did meet in a very hotly contested competition the week before, the Lol Pennington Bowls competition. The Steve Prescott Foundation putting an event on and supported by both coaches as well as lots of celebrities, including Johnny Vegas, great friend of rugby league. I think there's a potential injury here.
Mate. I'm not sure.
There's some attention
Come on then, boys, let's get in.
Being given to one of the players in backfield.
Arms over. Get tight there, mate. Get tight. Right, get tight. Arms over. Ball in.
Catalan feeding this scrum
time back
in the shape of Samisoni Langi. And news from the KCOM Stadium. Paraimo has extended the black and whites advantage. They now have a 10-point cushion over Salford. 16-6 there as David Mead crashes into that tackle. Cunningham among the tacklers alongside Batty for the Broncos.
Hold. Trap in. Goal 2. Don't trap, David.
Anthony Maria.
Move.
Under Batty's tackle.
Goal third.
23 gone. Catalans still to score. Still to strike, really, in this opening quarters.
Good run from Kenny Edwards.
What a run that was.
Well.
Kenny Edwards, the 29-year-old, back on the bench, having made his first start in 3 months to defeat Headingley. He's up for this one.
That's what he does best. Very reminiscent. You're talking about Huller. See, Mark Minicello does that very well. Cuts back inside and tries to pick up some tired, fatigued big men in the middle. Great ball.
Finds Bousquet, and Bousquet with the flick, and it could be gathered in by Benjamin Garcia. Another chance goes down for the Catalan Dragons.
Too low. He's a right-arm carry. It's on the right side. He's trying to find an offload to his supporting back rower. An opportunity missed. Gilt-edged opportunity there.
Already missed one chance to Lewis Tierney.
Surrender!
Now Garcia can't take the opportunity, and so Catalan Dragons stay rooted on 0 points so far. 24 gone. London in possession.
In his defence, Bousquet, it's not an easy thing to do, passing the ball when you're carrying it right-handed. To offload it to the right, he's got to flick it, he's got to almost roll it behind, and he can't do it. It's too low.
40.
The Broncos keeping themselves in the game. They haven't been perfect, giving away a couple of penalties that Danny Ward will want to speak to his side about, and a couple of mistakes in the play of the ball. But what about that for a charge from David Mead, knocking players right on the backside.
David Mead carried that ball back with real venom there, and on the back of that is Lewis Tierney. Things heating up.
Third. Move. Hold. Goal third.
Crowd beginning to get involved as well as DaCosta gets the ball away. Bird back on the inside. Matt Whitley, some good footwork initially, and he's still going, the former Widnes man.
4. Movement.
Former Widnes under-19 captain and a nominee for the Young Player of the Year award.
Stand up.
Matt Whitley.
Time off.
Back in 2016.
Jay.
Well, Matt Whitley, the player who's awarded the penalty on that occasion. Kenny Edwards, the previous time.
Will Lovell is a big problem for you. You need to get it in.
Just trying to slow this game down a little bit too much.
There seems to be a lot of that holding in.
Right, we've added that. Well, you talk to your lads and get them out on the move call. Then I'll control of it last.
What Jay Pitts is talking about when he says holding in, he's saying that Matt Whitley is clamping his arm by using the ball. And that's what players talk about when they say clamping in.
Hold. Goal 1.
Great position for the Dragons this though. And Tony Gigo, can he get over?
Move well.
London have held out so far. Catalan have bombed a couple of chances already in the opening 25.5 minutes. DaCosta looking for the line.
Move. Line. Hold.
Desperate defence on show from the London Broncos. Not the best pass, finds Kenny Edwards. Immediately Yates in his face. Lovell in there as well. Brock Lamb is the third London tackler.
Goal 4.
Here is Willie Arme now. 14 to go half-time. Catalan Dragons looking to start their push for these 2 vital points. They haven't got going yet.
Goal 5.
Last one, Da Costa. That was Lange. Gigot.
Still 5.
Still manages to get the ball away. Lange has it. And again, it's a London hand that diverts it from Tierney.
Man down.
It's touched, isn't it, by the Broncos? That's the important outcome on that play. Whether it was on purpose and whether the Catalan Dragons are going to get another set of 6.
Time is off an injury.
There's an injury down in back play there, but an offload to Sami Soni Lange. I'm sure that will mean head and feet to the Catalan Dragons.
Kieran Dixon's hand it was that diverted that ball. Had to as well.
They're doing well, aren't they, the Broncos? Obviously, the scoreboard.
Yeah, I appreciate, listen, Luke, there's some.
It's pleasant reading there for Danny Ward. Salford have come back there.
Okay.
Hull FC. It's pleasant reading for Danny Ward, the scoreboard. They haven't been outplayed, they don't look gassed, they don't look tired, they don't look out-muscled. They've got such a big pack, the Catalan Dragons. They've got big men on the bench to call upon as well. Anthony Maria, Mikel Simon, should I say, and Kenny Edwards all on the field at the minute, so they'll rest and rotate the men that they started the game with. Cassiano, Bousquet, whose attempted offload was just a little bit too low.
Just give us a breakdown of where we're at on the count,
Greg Bird and his role in this side, the communication element of the position that he's in. There's the offload. Matt Whitley's made a big difference, hasn't he?
Sorry.
Here we see the offload. Right arm, you can see his hand is facing towards the ground. If he scoops that hand up,
let's get in then, boys.
flicks it into the path of the supporting rudder, Benjamin Garcia, that might have been a better option, but as the old saying goes, it's easier done than said.
Okay, mate.
Liam Mossop with that Salford try that cuts the gap at the EK Stadium. It's just 4 points. We've got an 8-point margin here. Catalan Dragons looking to cut that one in half at least. What can they find? Just 5 metres or so from the 15 metres or so from the line.
Hold! Release to line. Goal 2.
Da Costa.
Space outside the Catalan Dragons. They couldn't get that ball away, Greg Bird.
Goal 3rd.
Under pressure from Jay Pitts. Sami Soni Lange back on the inside. Nowhere to go though for Anthony Maria.
Line. Goal 4.
Da Costa. Lange. This time Kenny Edwards is wrapped up. There's 4 in the tackle at one stage there for the Broncos. Really getting numbers in.
Goal 5.
This is the last one though. David Mead. Kick from Gigot. This could be interesting. Maria was looking for it.
20.
Well, a big pat on the back to the London Broncos. Credit where it's due. They're defending for their lives on every set of 6. You see whether they went wide, whether they tried to soften up that middle, as we spoke about on 5 or 6 minutes. The Broncos are turning up for one another, getting numbers in the tackle, controlling the speed of the play of the ball, and now it's time and a chance for them to have a go with the ball and maybe challenge the defenders and the Dragon shirt.
2 minutes short to the half-hour mark. London Broncos ahead by 8 points to 0. All the points scored by Kieran Dixon.
Move! Hold!
Trying 2 goals so far. Krasniqi plays the ball. Looking for something on this right-hand side of the London Broncos, but it's been really composed performance so far from Danny Ward's men. Brock Lamb gets the ball away. It's a good hit though, coming in from Garcia.
Hold. Goal 4. Don't push forward.
Matty Fozzard finds Yates.
Move. Hold. Goal 5.
Last one. Fozzard again. The boot of Abdul.
Down.
Collected.
Surrender.
Confidently by Tony Gigot. But look where Catalan Dragons start this set.
Goal 1.
It was an end-over-end kick.
That's you, Tony.
And Jordan Abdul and his London Broncos teammates are putting it in the place. Rather than putting pressure on the Catalan Dragons with the quality of the kick or the threat of the kick. What they're doing is saying, we're going to give you the ball back there. See how many metres you can make upfield. Wheel back our defence.
Matt Whitley backs himself there.
Move! Hold
the ball up strongly before he's met by Luke Yates. A bit more expansive now as Kenny Edwards tries to get away from Daniel Hindmarsh.
Still four. Still four. Still four.
Flick from Gigo, back for Simon. Bird finds Maria. Romano. Oh, what a dummy that was from Marta Romano.
5. Move!
Elliot Keir just about holds on. They've got the quick play of the ball though, and Mead has found Maria on the outside. Did they
Crazy decision.
I think they didn't understand the count there, Catalan Dragons. That's the only explanation I can find for that.
They must have lost count of where they were
on
that set of 6 to go down a short side of 1.5 metres. Asking a lot of... I think it ended up being Antonio Maria, a front rower, with 1 metre of a short side on last tackle.
2. Move, Matty!
The worst place for him to be.
I think it's fair to say the composure in this opening half an hour or so has all come from the London Broncos.
Hold.
Catalan have had chances, bomb chances. Maybe they're feeling the pressure a little bit more, which is surprising given London's plight at the wrong end of the table. It's been exactly what Danny Ward will want so far. Jordan Abdul gets the pass away for Alex Walker. Skips away from a couple.
Surrender!
And shut down by Michael Simon. Garcia in there as well.
He wanted some communication from the referee. He felt like he'd committed an obstruction, was trying to surrender himself in the tackle, and Liam Moore didn't say anything, and the Dragons players got hold of him and manhandled him.
1. Move, Olsey!
Fozzard's kick collected by Tony Gigo.
Go 1.
Tierney now.
2. Move, back up! Hold!
Yates, the tackling machine for the Broncos alongside Matty Fozzard there.
3rd. Move, Jay! Hold. Goal 3rd.
That was Romano who played the ball.
Move, Olsey! Back up, Luke. Hold. Goal 4. Play on.
And a wild offload again by Catalan Dragons.
Knock on.
Luckily, the London Broncos through Olsi Krasniqi, who's back on the field now, of course, after that Sim been in on 16 minutes.
Shot clock on.
Offload inside. He's trying to find the spit. He's trying to find David Mead, who can't get through, but he still throws the pass anyway. The ball goes to ground. Their urgency, London Broncos, is get down, get on any loose ball, and let's see what can happen. But in the process of doing that, Olsi Krasniqi knocks the ball on. You can see a big dark cloud there on that shot. I wonder whether that's ominous for the Dragons and their result today.
Get in, Luke. Shot clock off. Out!
Catalan continue with Greg Bird and scores a level at the KC Stadium. Or KCOM Stadium, I should say, and it's Darryl Olfitz who's locked things up. 16 points apiece there. Drama everywhere, of course. We'll keep you up to date with everything as it happens here on Sky Sports.
Well, I'm struggling to find explanations for what the Dragons are coming up with here. They got out of jail when they threw that ball inside. Tony Gigo with a loose offload, a forced inside pass. He's gifted a knock-on by the Broncos, and from that scrum, they still managed to give the ball away. The composure is non-existent of the Dragons so far.
Let's get in, Jordan. 10 seconds. Heads in. Shot clock off.
Challenge Cup final this weekend, but Super League back with a bang in a fortnight's time. 3-4U from the Betfred Super League. Salford against Warrington kicks us off Thursday, August the 29th from 7 on Sky Sports Arena.
Move. Hold on to this.
24 hours later, St Helens will get the League Leaders Shield when they take on Castleford Tigers. That's Friday, August the 30th. Same time, same channel. And our Super League treble takes us back to Perpignan. 2 weeks tonight. Catalan against Hull Kingston Rovers, a huge game for the Robins. Saturday, August the 31st, 4:55 start on Sky Sports Arena.
4. Move. Hold it,
London Broncos
hold.
bossing this one.
Goal 4.
35 metres away from that Catalan Dragons line. Some more composure.
5.
As Walker just takes the tackle.
Now what's Jordan Abdul got
5.
from the boot? Left-footed kicker.
Here is Abdul's kick.
Well, that can only be a skewed kick. That is neither
Watch
going
the
for
ball,
the
mate.
sideline
Same
to
ball.
slow the game down or high. He has one of the highest
With me, boys.
kicks
Discipline
in the
now,
game.
discipline.
He can
On the
put
foot,
it as
Lewis.
high as anybody I've ever
0.
seen in the game of rugby league, giving valuable seconds
0.
and pressure
Move.
building seconds for the
Hold.
bloke underneath that ball.
Goal 0.
Can the Dragons
1.
trouble the scoreboard before
Move.
the interval here?
Hold.
Just over 5
Goal
minutes
1.
in which to do so, but they're in a good position. They've got tackles in the bank, and it's a good run that gets
2.
them in a good
Move.
position.
Hold.
Michael Seymour,
Hold. Goal 2.
Da Costa, Greg Bird for Whitley. There's around Krasniki, can't get through Yates
Third.
though.
Move. Hold. Goal 3rd. Good.
Da Costa,
4. Move, Matty.
Lange.
Hold.
takes the
Goal
tackle.
4.
Haven't they defended well, the Broncos? Under no trouble at all during that set of 6. And apart from those
20.
two occasions,
Watch the
we're
ball
going to go
again,
back to the Bousquet
To the 0.
offload. That should have been a try for the Dragons, but because of the London Broncos players putting themselves in the frame, they end up denying Benjamin Garcia on that occasion.
0.
And then it was
Move.
Kieran Dixon who got a
Hold.
hand to the ball
Goal 0.
in the opening 3 or 4 minutes that stopped Lewis Tierney getting the
1.
first try of the game.
Move. Hold. Hold. Goal 1.
Good run from Elliot Keir, skirts around a couple of defenders, the
2.
26-time
Alex.
Welsh international.
Ollie Ben Hold. Goal 2.
Got a try on at the Dragons' expense on his Bradford debut 7 years ago. This
3rd.
now is Pitts,
Move.
the
Hold here. Hold.
London Broncos
Hold.
captain.
Goal 3rd.
More than satisfactory for Danny Ward so far. 8-0 up,
Still 3rd.
Late
4 to the
offload.
break. Really good offload as well for Alex Walker, who found some space.
Held. Release. Goal 4.
Kenny Edwards got to him in the end, but this is a really good chance now for London Broncos. Could there be even more points for the visitors in Perpignan?
Surrender. Stand.
Are they going to drop
Hold.
a goal?
Goal
Where's
5.
Jordan Abdul? No.
Abdul,
Still
that's
5.
Hindmarsh.
Still
Do
5.
they know it's the last tackle? Hindmarsh is going to take the tackle. It's going to be the
I'm not taking
turnover,
that.
but they do give up possession just 5 metres away from that Catalan line.
That might not have been a bad option, although they're 8 points in front on the
10
scoreboard. To make those odd numbers, rugby league
Wait.
players don't like odd numbers.
Go.
It just does something to you inside, whether you're in front or behind.
1.
If you're in front
Move.
by 1, 3,
Hold
5,
here.
you think you're
Hold.
safe.
Hold.
And then if
Go
you're
on.
behind, you're looking at that scoreboard, and there's an element of panic when we've got odd numbers on the scoreboard, Ben. I know you're looking at me like I'm
Stop
mad,
moving.
but it does do the job. And I think
Release,
Jordan
back
Abdul
up.
and his game
Goal 2.
management, if he'd have had his time again, might well have thought about a drop goal.
3rd. Move.
I know what you're saying, not so much difference between 8 points and 9 points. I
40.
get totally the point.
40.
As Tony Gigo is trying to look for a 40-20, is he? It's not going to make it.
Play
Alex
on.
Walker is there.
And it's a desperate kick as well. Desperate kick. They don't
Surrender.
seem to me to
Stand.
be prepared to
Hold it,
invest
hold it,
in the
hold.
small stuff,
Hold.
doing the basics
Goal
and the
1.
fundamentals of the game.
Time.
The Broncos, that's all they've done. The defence has been good.
Held.
The passing, not
Release.
always, but it's been accurate.
Goal 2.
The carries, when they've carried the ball, they've looked to win contact, find the fronts, give the bloke behind them half a chance.
Move. Hold
And the
this 10.
Catalan Dragons,
Hold.
well,
Goal 3rd.
that's nothing like what they're doing. They're individually trying to
40.
fix everything
40.
themselves. 40-20 attempt.
40.
And he's got it,
40-20.
Jordan Abdul.
Watch that ball, Cam.
An
Watch the
incredible
ball.
kick there from Jordan Abdul. Like a dagger to the heart of this
Time is
Catalan
off.
Dragons
Different
side just a
ball.
minute and a half before
Control
the break. That was
restarts. Different
incredible.
ball.
Well, there's a deliberate kick.
Mate.
He stands
The rules
way
are, he
behind the
has to take the ball
40-metre
there. He
line,
doesn't
gets
get
the
the ball
angle
passed on.
absolutely spot
Control.
on. They'll have another goal at
Wait
scoring
for
a
me
try
now.
before half-time.
Time back
Has
on.
4 now. 40-20 kicks, Jordan
1.
Abdul this year, so
Move.
level with Mark Sneed of Hull FC.
Played it, played it.
The two best exponents of that skill, and it's put London Broncos in a great position as
2.
Brock Lamb tries to
Move,
find the line.
Line. Goal
Kenny
2.
Edwards there in the nick of time.
Obstruction. Yeah. It's a tight angled run, isn't it? Tight angled run. And he wanted a short pass from the replacement hooker.
Don't need to check anything. I made a decision.
And you can see that Catalan Dragons committed to that defender, committed to that runner, should I say. And Sami Lange, he'd made that decision, forced the hand of the referee, but the fact that Mati Fossard pulled it back in, almost a guilt complex there by the hooker.
Go.
Willie Arme then for Catalan Dragons. Time running out if they are to get on the board before the break.
Hold. Go on.
Edwards. That's Mikel Simon.
Move. Square
And that's a
backers.
heavy challenge as well. You're right, they need a try. I just don't know where those points are coming from.
Could be something with Willie Arme. He's found Lewis Tierney, and Tierney's quick. Can he get through the cover? Again, Dixon gets down. The balls come out as well. London Broncos see off another threat.
Advantage.
Well, that's unbelievable defence, isn't it? The line is broken for the third or fourth time, and Kieran Dixon sneaks up at the back of Lewis Tierney, surprises him, shocks him so much he drops the ball. Good play by Braden Willie Arme. He's trying to weigh up how he's going to beat the fullback. Thinks he's done it, thinks he's scored the try, and Kieran Dixon,
Mate,
well, he comes from nowhere and knocks the ball out of his hand. Great work, Broncos. Wonderful 40 minutes.
Let's carry on there to last.
Totally satisfactory first 40 then for Danny Ward and the London Broncos. Not too many people will see this one coming. Catalan Dragons have had their chances, but it's London Broncos who are in command at the break. All the points scored by Kieran Dixon, an early penalty followed by a conversion of his own try. And problems for Catalan Dragons at the break. At half-time, Catalan Dragons 0, London Broncos 8. The Premier League is back with a bang here on Sky Sports. Sheffield United against Crystal Palace kicks off a trio of matches in the top flight from 1 o'clock on Super Sunday on Sky Sports Premier League. That's followed by Chelsea against Leicester from 4 o'clock. And the Monday Night Football sees Manchester United go to Wolves. That's a 7 o'clock start. All those on Sky Sports Premier League and also available in Ultra HD. Action from the Championship as well tomorrow as Reading take on Cardiff. That's an 11:30 start, this time on Sky Sports Football. And the Ashes continues tomorrow. Day 5 of the second test. England currently 46 for 2. They lead by 54. That's a 10 o'clock start on Sky Sports The Ashes. Half-time at the Stade Gilbert Brutus. And it's London Broncos who are in control at the break. Kieran Dixon with all the points for Danny Ward's men. In an upset so far at least, with 40 minutes gone. And we can look at the highlights of that first half now, and Barry McDermott is alongside me.
Well, what a half the visitors have put in. It's not as if the Catalan Dragons haven't been near the line, but when they've had an attempt, and you see Kieran Dixon there, who's had a wonderful 40 minutes, both with the boot and those 2 conversions and 2 extra goals, the 4 points added and the try. Here's the try. Speed to burn by Kieran Dixon. What a player he is, probably one of the fastest in the game. I'd love to see Regan Grace and Kieran Dixon in a foot race. I don't know where your money would be. Blistering pace, he doesn't want to improve the angle. Confident in his goal kick, and he absolutely nails the conversion. It's 8-0 at half-time on all points provided by that player there. As I said, he's scored one and he's saved a couple as well, but he's not been on his own. I think the way that he's played and the Broncos have played, they deserve this win. Now, here's a part of the game I don't like to see. I recognised it when it happened. I've seen it a few times before, and you can see leg up, you can see the reaction of the Broncos players. Unfortunately, they had to spend 10 minutes with 12 players, but fortunately for them, it didn't cost them anything on the scoreboard. Greg Bird with a beautiful short pass to Busquets, who can't find a support player, Benjamin Garcia. And when the ball goes up high, just look at the Broncos players Elliot Keir on that occasion doing enough to deny the Catalan Dragons. And this was on the stroke of half-time. He thinks he's done enough, Lewis Tierney, who's had a couple of goals at scoring a try. He's beat the fullback. That would usually mean I get a chance to put the ball down over the white stripe. But Kieran Dixon again saves the day for the Broncos.
Just as they did a couple of months ago, London Broncos in control at the break. 8 points to nil. Dixon with all the points with a try and 2 goals as well for Danny Ward's men. Crucial 2 points they're heading for right now. And elsewhere, it's half-time, all locked up at the KCOM Stadium. Ken Seo's try has levelled things at 16 points apiece with 40 minutes still to go in that one. Still, Catalan Dragons have yet to shovel the scoreboard on home turf in Perpignan, and plenty ahead for Steve McNamara's men. Our London Broncos closing in on a Perpignan double as they bid to survive at the bottom of Super League. Find out live next. Big game coming up next weekend for all Rugby League fans. Heading to Wembley, Warrington against St Helens. A huge match in the Challenge Cup final, Saturday, August the 24th. You can see highlights on Sky Sports, 8 o'clock, Sky Sports action. Will Blake Austin take his place at Wembley? And we're back with 3 huge games from the Betfred Super League in a fortnight's time. Salford against Warrington kicks things off Thursday, August the 29th, 7 o'clock on Sky Sports Arena. Same time, same channel, 24 hours later, as St Helens take on Castleford. So both Wembley finalists in action on Sky Sports. And we'll be back in Perpignan 2 weeks tonight to see the Dragons up against the Hull Kingston Rovers. What will the Rovers' position be at that point regarding the relegation scrap? You can find out 4:55 Sky Sports Arena. Half-time here, and the Broncos are closing in on back-to-back wins in Perpignan. Plenty of work still to do, but the 2 points that they are heading for right now could make the difference at the end of Super League 24. 8 points to nil. Kieran Dixon with the try and 2 goals as Danny Ward's men trouble the scoreboard entirely for the away side in that first period.
It was a lovely play, wasn't it? To come out, Ryan Morgan, take the risk, take the gamble. They'd already tried it on one occasion to try and find the outside. Lewis Tierney standing outside, Kieran Dixon giving his opposite number the outside edge, and the centre, Ryan Morgan, taps it up, collects it and says, there you go, have a go at that, pal. And it's a beautiful sight. Kieran Dixon in full flow, 80 metres, and they are good value. Tremendous unity and team spirit showed by this London Broncos side in the opening 40.
Kieran Dixon with more reasons than most for the 2 points, aiming to avert an unwanted hat-trick, having been relegated with Hull Kingston Rovers in 2016 and with London as well 2 years previously. He is desperate to avoid another drop down to the Championship.
You're not blaming him, are you, Ben?
I'm not blaming him. I'm only saying, Barry, that he knows acutely what this means and what these 2 points mean more than most.
Absolutely. And if they can play the same way they played in that opening 40 minutes, they give themselves an excellent chance. And the question on my mind is what are Catalan Dragons going to throw? Because for me, they threw absolutely nothing as a team. It was individual efforts and players trying to fix things up, trying to create things, manufacture things on their own. And they need to join up. When you listen to Steve McNamara, he talks about his team losing that join. They started doing things individually, they started playing, and there was almost an argument at one of the scrums at Headingley last week between the players. So frustrated were they in their own performance.
Through the line.
Kenny Edwards still with possession, hasn't made too much forward progress.
Mumati! Hold. Goal 5.
Salford in front now at the KCOM Stadium. It's a Jake Bibby try that's made the difference. 22 points to 16, Salford lead. So the scrap for the playoffs and the top 5 very much going the way of the Salford Red Devils just now, with Catalan losing here. Rhys Williams.
2. Move Oryx!
That's a better defensive effort.
Look at the urgency, though, from Alex Walker to dart into acting half-back there and shut down by Ulrich da Costa.
The Dragons trying to take metres off the Broncos in defence. They've hardly made any territory whatsoever. Coming to the back end of the set now.
40.
Kicking from deep, and it's a high one as well. Not much distance on it, although they allow that ball to bounce. And David Mead, he can see the halfway line, but what a defensive effort. 3-4 players in Broncos shirts to meet him.
Don't trap him.
You mentioned the height that Jordan Abdul gets with those kicks in that first 40, and just demonstrated that there under pressure as well.
The way he spirals his kicks as well, it changes direction. I know one thing, I wouldn't like to be underneath one of those, neither now or back in my heyday.
I think it's safe to say that I'm right with you.
Yeah, I think you'd have more chance of catching it than me.
Offload from Edwards, really nice flick, finds Gigo. Here is Garcia now. Krasniki, the devil's own job to try and put him on the floor. Jay Pitt's in there as well, Da Costa. Catalan Dragons started with a real offensive here.
Move, Ryan. Hold.
David Mead.
Go 4.
Tony Gigo. Drop-off pass is Garcia.
5. Move. Play it.
Almost lost that ball, Garcia.
5 metres away, Da Costa fires the pass. They could go over here, Edwards. Well, he was looking the wrong way, manages to dump the ball across for Williame. A step and a try for Braden Williame. The Catalan comeback is on. Braden Williame. A try in the qualifiers against London 2 years ago.
David.
And now he gets his 10th Super League try.
Well, the improvement in the second half is Gigo. Tony Gigo involved heavily in that last set of 6. They almost messed that one up as well. Kenny Edwards was through the line, he broke the defensive line, he was looking at the try line, but still trying to find somebody to pass to. A risky offload, out the back, it ends up finding Braden Williame, and he's too good to be in that scenario and not get it right. Well, first points, first jab to the Dragons, and they looked a lot more organised. Of course, it's early on in the piece to be talking about whether they've fixed up the problems and issues for the first time, but they look joined up in their plan and in their thinking, which certainly they weren't in the first 40.
Braden Williame almost to try every other game for the Catalan Dragons. 35 now in 75. Tough assignment though, this for Tony Gigo to add the extras. He's a whisker away, but Catalan Dragons have half the deficit. London still lead, but by 8 points to 4 now. Well,
they'd set up midfield, hadn't they? They tried to get Kenny Edwards a one-on-one, which he had. He evaded the defender, but still felt the need to throw that offload. This will be the best angle to see it at. All that space in front of him. He finds a pass, Braden Williame, dummy, and he gets the first points. And I think Kenny Edwards' reaction there, he tells you, he's telling you, us, and his teammates what he could have done better.
News from Salford, which could wipe the smile a little off the Catalan faces here. Liam Mossop's second try has extended the Red Devils' advantage. They now lead by 28 points to 16. Of course, the Catalan Dragons will need Salford to not pick up any points there if they're going to move into the playoff places.
Well, the two Great Britain assistant coaches in the box seat in their respective games. Danny Ward, of course, here. Ian Watson over at Hull FC, and there's an offload.
Blown the whistle accidentally.
There's an offload from the Catalan Dragons. The London Broncos get the ball. I think the referee's explaining I'd already blown my whistle. So in that case, London will get head and feed at the scrum. The mistake made by the Dragons. He should have allowed play on, of course. Watch the offload here. Goes into contact, doesn't it? Maria forces the offload. And of course, Yates doesn't let that ball bounce.
Let's get in.
He picks it back up. That should have been play on. And Liam more sensibly and correctly giving head and feet to the Broncos at the scrum.
And acknowledging his error, which we should say. Applause for that. Here is Elliot Keir for the Broncos. Plays it to Rhys Williams. Not too much support for the Welshman. Romano
Two.
among the Catalan
Move.
tacklers.
Hold. Goal two.
Fozzard now. Footwork from Yates.
Third.
Out a long way, Mikel
Move. Back
Simon
here. Hold.
looking for the
Goal
big
third.
shot.
Fozzard's pass. Abdul, did that go forward to Batty?
Looked it
Four.
on our camera angles,
Move.
but got away with
Hold.
it, Jordan.
Hold. Goal four.
Fozzard. Abdul puts boot to
Okay,
ball this time,
okay.
and was there a London
20,
player
you.
taken out? It looked like Jay Pitts.
There was a collision, you could hear
0
on the ref's mic. Okay, he had full view of it and viewed it as
for the line.
play on. And sometimes in scenarios like that,
0.
when the team that kicks the ball has
Move.
players chasing,
Luke, hold.
sometimes
Goal
they
0.
will. It's a little bit cynical as well. We've seen a couple too many cynical players
1.
in this game.
Move.
They'll
Hold.
run deliberately
Stand
into a
up.
player.
Goal 1.
A difficult job for the referee to try and work out whether it's an infringement or not.
Move. Back here, Ed. Hold.
Sarisona Langi
Hold.
taken by
Goal
Yates. Da Costa's pass evades Whitley, goes back though, and Gigo can find Kenny Edwards. Here is Willie Arme now.
Third.
They got away with that, the
Move.
Dragons. It
Hold
escaped
here.
the
Hold.
grip,
Goal
but
third.
went backwards.
Edwards holds on.
He's still going.
Hell. Release.
Finally, Liam Moore shouts held.
Go back on the ball. It's a mandatory, mate.
Well,
That's a Catalan penalty, and they're going to exert some more pressure in a minute.
it
mate,
is.
what are we doing?
It is a penalty, but Kenny Edwards reversing. He never actually stopped at any point. And then when London were trying to get away and get out of that tackle, it was too difficult.
Release
But
one.
the call goes in the way of the Dragons, and they'll
Goal
have
one.
another goal at the try line.
Looking for back-to-back
Two.
tries to open up this
Move.
second half. Catalan
Hold, mate,
Dragons
Hold. Hold.
weren't really at the
Stand up,
races
goal
in that
two.
first 40 in truth, although they did have opportunities. They've converted one. Can they add another 4-pointer now as the number 4, Braden Williame,
Third.
closes in on the line,
Move.
just
Line.
4
Goal
meters
third.
short. Scamper from David Mead. Has he got the strength? David Mead
Elbow.
trying to
Tackle 4.
touch the ball down. Desperate defence
On the
from
10, mate.
London. And referee Liam Moore on the spot says he's held up.
Held up by the Broncos. You can see, can't you? Low body angle, low
Time off on
position
tackle 4.
by Alex Walker, who knows
okay,
what's coming. He knows, he's aware, he's done his
Okay, mate,
homework
tackle
on
4.
David Mead. And I said just before half-time, I don't know where the
Back
points
on.
are going to come for the Dragons. Well, it's 3 and 4 that are most dangerous players. The player in the
Five.
number 1 shirt, Tony
Move,
Gigo,
it's
who's
line,
playing
that's it.
more of a
Hold.
central role now. He'll provide it,
Goal 5.
but Mead and Willie Army look like the players most likely to score.
Garcia did really well to hold on to that under pressure from opposite number Jay Pitts, and then there's a high shot there, and
Tony!
tempers beginning to boil over in Perpignan. Tony Gigo. We saw scenes like this when Warrington, who were here last time out.
Relax. They've overreacted. Relax. Over there.
It's the tackle on Romano that's lit the touch paper here.
Take
Well, he
over there.
goes back, does he? Steps off that right foot, going back against the grain. And that's a high tackle. Nothing more. There's no need for Catalan Dragons to react
Over there.
and start pushing and shoving. Talked before the game about what the Dragons needed to get right to get the win today, and it was their temperament. Yet again, we're seeing the
Time is
temperament flaring up and them losing their marbles. Now, instead of
Thanks, mate.
getting the ball, tapping the ball and trying to exert more pressure onto the Broncos defensively, there's a break in play and everybody gets a talking to.
Yeah.
And then one set, his shoulder chest, he's walked on the field.
He might not know it right now, but bon anniversaire to Artur Romano. He's 22 today, the Frenchman.
Is he okay, mate? You happy with him?
Don't know whether
Okay.
he would have chosen
Yeah,
to spend his special
Mate,
day on his
it's a high
haunches
tackle. And
at the
that
Stade
is a
Gilbert
penalty.
Brutus
Okay, I'm
as
gonna speak to
Jay
Gigo about
Pitts
running in.
Okay.
But
to
that's
talking
penalty.
to
First
the
defence,
Broncos
high
skipper.
tackle. That's it, Jay. We've got
I
it.
understand that. Can I say one thing?
Okay.
He's not being listened to,
Where's
Jay
Tony?
Pitts. He's accepted what the ref said. He wants to then have
Mate, we've got
a
the
question
penalty.
himself.
I don't need any reaction from you, mate. If you do that again and cause things, you're going to end up getting sat down. That's on to you now.
Instead, Liam Moore lays the law down to Tony Gigo.
Okay, penalty.
And Jay Pitts doesn't get a chance to put his point across, but his side need to defend. There is no good debating the issue.
Talked a lot about composure in this game.
Go.
Catalan Dragons in a really good position as Simon wrestles away from a couple of Broncos defenders, closes in on that line again.
Some teams then are at the best when those levels are heightened. Catalan Dragons are at the worst.
Inside the last half hour, and as Shepherd denies Tony's ego, Liam Moore in the right place. More frustration for the Dragons. Look at the reaction there of the fullback.
Now Tony Gigo, who we've said needs to get his hand on the ball a lot more, has Kenny Edwards on a short pass. He's looking for a longer pass at either a player sweeping round his back or a wider option further to him on his left, and he doesn't like either. Keeps the ball and he's penalised. And another missed opportunity by the Dragons.
One, move!
Garcia
hold
on Ryan Morgan.
Goal one. Two, move! Back here, hold.
Eddie
Goal
Batty.
two.
That's Daniel Hindmarsh.
Third, move! Square Alex. Goal third.
Ball fired to the left by Fozzard, and there might be something on this left flank as it's Rhys Williams who's got away. He's got support on the inside, and they've carved them open again, London Broncos, just as they did in the first period when Kieran Dixon streaked clear. This time it's Alex Walker. Catalan Dragons had no answer, and Alex Walker, speculation linking him with Wakefield for next year. He's very much a London Bronco right now, and that's a crucial try.
Well, the skip outside from Jay Pitts, he has a defender in front of him, skips onto the next lane, attracts the defender, the next one along, and creates some space. There it is, right foot skip. You can just see Sammy Sonalangi. He come in, he can't resist. The space is created on the outside, and it's a good execution from Rhys Williams, who finds supporting fullback Alex Walker. They aren't the most talented team in the division, London Broncos, but what they are is they are a team. They play together, they know one another's strengths, and the coach, Danny Ward, gets the absolute maximum out of his players.
These two going toe-to-toe. Braden Williame opens things up in the second half, and the response is rapid from the Broncos. This kick surely going over in a moment, and London Broncos will open up a 10-point cushion. Kieran Dixon there from right in front. 2 more points. London ahead by 14 points to 4 now.
There's the skip from Pitts. There's the bite in from Sammy Sonalangi. And then it's just a simple drawn pass. He has the fullback. He has a supporting player in his own fullback. Alex Walker, lovely stuff. Elliot Keir has a job to do. He stays square. Importantly, he stays square. He doesn't drag the defender to his winger. He stays square, and Rhys Williams gets a 2-on-1 with a fullback. Lovely stuff.
Could we be looking at a crucial afternoon in the destiny of the top 5 places this year?
And the bottom places as well. Let's not forget, 12th place London Broncos. If they continue and pick up the win, then that makes a real frustrating time, and you'll see the teams around those places at the bottom there. Hull KR, Huddersfield Giants, Wakefield, even Leeds Rhinos.
And on ball.
It's squeaky you-know-what time.
Remember, as things stand, London would also move to 18 points. Wakefield on 18, Huddersfield on 18, Hull KR on 18, and London with victory here also on 18. Hull KR face Wakefield in a huge game tomorrow, and Huddersfield in action against the Castleford Tigers, who themselves will be looking to move into that top 5, or those 2 top 5 positions. Compelling at both ends of the table in the Betfred Super League. 25 minutes still to go in this one. Brock Lamb gets the ball away, fires the pass to Luke Yates, who's been sensational again in defence for the visitors.
4, move David, line.
Matt Whitley on Jordan Abdul. Fozzard's pass
5. Move.
Last chance
Line.
coming up for the London Broncos.
Goal
Will they think
5.
about a one-pointer here? Yates doesn't do that, scoops a kick in, and Lange is there.
1.
Well, I just wonder whether everybody's TV's picked up the frustration, the shout and the bark in anger. At the back of the play, the ball
2.
from Matty Fozzard. He had no communication.
Matty,
Who wanted
Goal
to
2.
take responsibility at the kick? He ended up doing it himself. A bit of a weak end to a good set of 6, but they're doing now what they've done all afternoon, all early evening, and that's defend for their lives. The big man, Cassiano, he's on so many times this year. We've seen him come on and change a game.
Space for Mead down the centre of the field. This could be danger for the London Broncos. Mead still going.
Where's his support?
It gets there eventually from Willie Armour, and he cruises through a couple of tackles.
Move.
They need the quick play of the ball here, Catalan Dragons. They need something very quickly indeed. It comes back for Gigo. Now it's Kenny Edwards. Pass at the line for Cassiano. And Cassiano gets the ball away. It's Lange who flings the ball wide, and Romano is there.
Sam Cassiano ends up with the ball. And it's the money shot. It's the money pass. They spread the ball wide. He skips across, doesn't he, Kenny Edwards? He's beaten his man, Cassiano. All he's got to do is provide Samisona Lange with a decent pass.
See that one there?
And he's down here, he's bootlaces.
Mandatories.
Well, they're undoing themselves here, the Dragons.
Okay.
He'd done the
10
hard
seconds,
bit.
boys.
He'd got away from the tacklers and just couldn't deliver the ball where Samisona Lange wanted it. 4 minutes to go
Out.
to the final quarter.
Is that 3 or 4 chances that they have given away
1.
now?
Move. Hold Sam.
Catalan
Hold.
Dragons will only have
1.
themselves to blame if they don't come out on the right side of this, and he must be tearing
2.
his hair out.
Move.
Steve McNamara,
Hold.
you cannot train
Clear
away
it. Goal 2.
basic fundamental mistakes like that. That's
3rd.
not because you're not good enough.
Move, Matty. Hold.
It's not. I don't believe
Goal
that Sam
3rd.
Cassiano
Okay.
is tired. It's just a lack of focus. Armitage, the debutant,
Move.
is on now.
Hold, Ulrichs, hold. Goal 4.
Guy Armitage, what a story this is. A hat-trick on his London Scholars debut last week. In
5.
Doncaster, they lost 23
Move, back here,
points to
Sam.
22.
Goal
And
5.
here a week
that's you.
later, he's playing Super League in
5.
Perpignan.
Clem.
David Mead. Into Batty's tackle.
Well, it's silent,
1.
isn't it?
Move.
The stadium, the atmosphere has
JJ.
dropped
Hold. Come
because
on.
everybody on and
Goal
off field is thinking the same thing. Do you know what? We might lose this game. We're not playing good enough.
2.
And the team
Move,
in
10
front of us
metres. Goal 2.
in black shirts has more determination, more
3rd.
resolve, more resilience.
Move. Hold. Goal 3rd.
And they deserve that lead.
The men in black providing the box office in Perpignan as Lange gets the ball off the floor.
Ball's off.
Well, it's the
Cassiano, I
captain.
beg your pardon.
It's the
Shot
captain,
clock on.
Remy Casti, coming on short of Sam Cassiano. You can see him in short support there. And it's, I'll tell you what, Brock Lamb has come up with probably the biggest shot of his career. Knocked the ball out the grasp of the French international.
Gone down after the shot clock's gone on, mate, so... Yeah, but it's gone down after it's gone on.
Well, this
So
is
you
a
can
breathtaking
put somebody else if you want,
performance.
by all means.
Well, coming up for an hour now, as you said.
Okay, then.
Last
okay, we can go
quarter,
for it in the back.
so crucial,
Head in,
so
Kieran.
vital in many
Shot clock
matches.
off. Out.
Back your energy, the conditioning of you both mentally and
1.
physically. Can you
Move
stay in the
in.
grind?
Hold.
Can you stay in the battle
Goal
and
1.
cope with that anxiety?
Okay.
Does funny things to players.
2.
Remember,
Move.
London
Hold.
already
Hold.
defeated the Catalan
Goal
Dragons
2.
on this ground, 30 points to 12. Double for Rhys Williams. Kieran Dixon with a try, Kieran Dixon with 5 goals.
Move. Back
This
here.
time,
Hold. Goal for
Dixon, who
Northwood.
celebrates his birthday on Thursday, as I said. He's got a try and 3 goals, and London
Call you not
in
scoring, mate.
control.
You made the tackle. You made
The
the tackle.
markers from the Catalan Dragons at the back end of a set of 6, when they should, in theory, be getting ready to field a kick,
Through down,
give
through down.
away a needless penalty for not being square at marker. And the London Broncos 10 points in front,
Okay.
choosing to take a shot at goal to put them 12 points in front. We may well
Stay
see
behind him then, boys.
a drop goal at some point And if they're going to do it, they're better off doing it earlier and sooner rather than later, before it gets to the back end and you see wild Catalan players desperately trying not to allow the one-pointer in, but they are miles off here, miles off the Catalan Dragons.
An hour gone in Perpignan. The Broncos looking to go 2 scores clear. Kieran Dixon, no mistake. He continues his faultless performance. 4 goals now to go in the try. Now 16 points to 4 ahead, Danny Ward's men.
Well, Steve McNamara, you can just see there in your picture, Lucas Albert brought onto the field. Whether he'll play in the halves or at hooker, we'll wait and see. He's trying to make the team create some opportunities. He's trying to put some variety around that decision-making area of his side's game, because they just have not been up to the mark. And you think about the back division for the Broncos, Williams, Dixon, Walker, all influential in this game. You can't say the same about the Dragons.
2, hold, goal 2.
This one very much in the melting pot. And elsewhere, exactly the same story. Hull FC have got right back into it. A Jordan Lane converted tries put them within a score of the Salford Red Devils. 28 points to 22 now. Ian Watson's men ahead.
Hold here, hold. Go 4.
Cunningham.
5.
Brought down brilliantly by Cassiano, just clung on there.
Goal 5.
That's the last one coming up now for London.
40.
In their own half, it's not the best kick.
10 boys.
Brock Lamb.
Play on.
And now Tierney to counter for the Catalan Dragons. Don't forget, highlights coming up next weekend. Challenge Cup final, the top 2 in the Betfred Super League go head-to-head at Wembley. Warrington against St Helens. And we can show you the best of that action. Saturday, August the 24th, 8 o'clock on Sky Sports Action. Greg Bird.
Third. Move. Hold. Goal 3rd.
Samisoni Langi. That's Whitley.
4. Move. Back here. Hold.
Inside the last quarter of this one. It was Lucas Albert who got the ball away. Kenny Edwards back on the inside, finds Albert. Lucas Albert's got support from Tony Gigo. Tony Gigo through Brock Lamb. Really important tackle that. Thought about playing the ball quickly. They do get it now. It's the last one. Now Greg Bird. He's got the composure, but he hasn't got the accuracy, and he can't find Romano. And another Catalan chance goes begging.
Well, they've broken the line again through Lucas Albert. He's been trying to get involved for the last 2 or 3 minutes, and they end up from that broken field play. What a tackle from Brock Lamb. Gets back and denies the try from Tony Gigo. And let's say that those roles are reversed. Let's say that at the back end of that tackle,
come on, James.
It's not Tony Gigo, it's Greg Bird who gets tackled. That tackle is Greg Bird. At the back of there, taking control of the kick, should
stand up,
be Tony Gigo. It ends up being Greg Bird, and the kick is too strong, nowhere near. They've just not been good enough at the back end of sets.
Hold. Goal 1.
Not been good enough to take advantage.
Kieran Dixon going through the gears. Tony Gigo comes in.
Goal 2.
Latest from the KCOM Stadium, and Kristen Inu has gone in for the Salford Red Devils. They extend their lead. Hull came back into it, but Salford now ahead by 34 points to 22. That's all about the race for the top 5. There'll be a setback in that regard as far as Catalan Dragons are concerned, but London will only care about the 2 points at the bottom of the table. That's Danny Ward's only priority as Ryan Morgan plays that ball. Here's Cunningham, gets a kick away, finds the line, and under that pressure, that wasn't a bad end to that set.
Well, London Broncos just trying to slow this game down now. Brock Lamb with that desperate tackle, try-saving attempt on Tony Gigo. And you can see the Broncos players walk into the scrum, using every second available to them on the shot clock.
Let's get him. Let's get him. Get him.
Closing in on the last
Heads in.
15 minutes in
Get in.
Perpignan.
Shot clock off.
London with a commanding
Out.
lead.
Time back on.
It's not a winning lead just yet, though. A Catalan try
Move.
soon
Hold
would
it
make
right and
things
hold.
very interesting, and given London's
on.
plight at the bottom of the table, their nerves will be tested.
2. Move.
Romano
Hold it,
now for the
James,
Dragons.
Goal 2.
Lucas Albert. Here is Garcia now.
3rd. Move.
Krasniki with the
Back
tackle
here, James.
for
Hold.
the visitors.
Goal 3rd. To the
Lucas
side.
Albert once more, gives it to Greg Bird. Wide for Samisoni Langi. Taken
4.
down by opposite number,
Move
Jordan
it.
Abdul Alik Kir in there as well.
Goal 4.
A scamper forward by Remy
5.
Casti now.
Move, Elliot. Hold. Goal 5.
Untidy play the ball, referee happy though, and on the last comes to Greg Bird, just hammers the ball high in the air. Big test for
Still
Kieran
5.
Dixon, he doesn't want it.
It's
Comes
still
back
5,
for
Ben.
Still 5.
Kenny Edwards. What's he going to do? Still the last. They've got it overlap on that left-hand side, and Willie Arme back inside for Tierney, and Tierney has put it down.
Surrender.
Difficult pass to
Stand
take, in
one.
fairness.
Hold.
But you feel that they have to start to take one of these chances if they're going to get anything out of this
2.
game.
They had a chance. The ball bounced,
Goal 2.
and it ended up going maybe 15 metres back to Kenny Edwards. But the kick was high from Greg
3rd.
Bird. London Broncos failed
Hold.
to deal with it,
Hold.
but as they've done throughout this game, they did
Time off,
enough to
tackle
cover
free.
those mistakes. Kieran Dixon just down on the floor now. He's picked up an injury. Desperate attempt by Armitage. What a baptism of fire this is for him. His second game of rugby league at top level. London Scholars being his first foray into it, and London Broncos just picked up a little injury now. Everybody taking a bit of a sigh and a couple of deep breaths.
Tackle 3.
While he's being forced back, he bends. Oh, that's a low tackle, that.
Garcia it was who came in, I think. And you can see why Kieran Dixon is in some pain.
And you can see why
Okay, Tony.
people inside and outside of the game do not like that tackle at all.
Tackle 3.
Going in at that angle, at that ferocity. The only thing that is going to break there are legs and ligaments.
With me, mate.
Sonny Gigo also with a problem. He's got up now, though.
Okay, boys. Tackle
Of course,
3.
the Lance Todd winner
Back on 3.
in London 12 months ago in that sensational win over the Wolves. Warrington back at Wembley
4.
next
Move,
weekend
Sam.
to right the wrongs against St Helens. What a
4.
tough ask that is against the runaway league leaders.
5. Move. Hold. Goal 5.
Cunningham.
Outside.
Brock Lamb with the kick.
Back.
Back from
Play
Tierney.
on.
He was looking for the sideline again, Brock Lamb. Again, trying to get it over
1.
the sideline,
Move,
form the
James.
scrum,
Hold
walk
here.
to the scrum,
Hold.
slow
Goal
the game
1.
down, because if you allow Catalan Dragons to play the game at their pace, they do have some fast players.
2.
We haven't seen
Move.
the sound
Hold.
of it today.
Goal 2.
Brock Lamb made the first of 32 Newcastle
Elliot.
appearances in Sydney,
Hold.
and then
Goal
switched
3rd.
to the Roosters earlier this season, and now moves to the Super Leaguers. It's a strong run from Bousquet. Sensibly, Cunningham is there to lock the ball up.
4. Goal
They
4.
know the threat that the French international poses. Here is Kenny Edwards, I should say, with a half break at least. The crowd have seen something here.
Well, Kenny Edwards, he just injected that burst of pace, didn't it? And there's a little shove, a little charge there in the background.
Okay, mate,
Kenny
let's go
Edwards is a player that can turn a game. You can just see, just a fraction of a second before that, a player taken out who was trying to support Kenny Edwards, but they'll march downfield.
then. Time off. 2
They'll
balls.
tap the ball on the 20-metre line.
Help me, James.
2 balls on the
Go.
pitch, and now we can start. As time begins to run out for the Catalan Dragons.
Play on. No
Is
tackle.
there push for Old Trafford about to hit the buffers? Tony Gigo.
1.
Salford
it.
winning elsewhere, of
Hold.
course.
Go on.
Castleford in action tomorrow. Here is Bousquet. Bousquet so
2.
close to the line. Cunningham
Move.
underneath.
Find space. Goal 2. Played it.
Lucas Albert, short ball. It's Edwards, and it's knocked on.
Well, the Broncos are defending their way to victory here. There isn't too much being thrown at them. Bousquet plays the ball. There is a defender in the ruck. I won't have had any arguments if Cunningham was penalised. He was in the ruck. But the Broncos, they won't complain about that. They turn up, they put pressure on Kenny Edwards, and he spills the ball. And you're right, Ben, they're running out of time. I don't think they'll run out of chances. They keep creating chances. They keep having chances presented to them. They're just not good enough to get anything from them.
Tierney chance on 6 minutes, bombed. Garcia chance 23 minutes, that wasn't converted. Lange 56 minutes, and now Edwards goes close on 68. Game over though at the KCOM Stadium. Jackson Hastings has extended Salford's cushion, and the Red Devils 38 points to 22 now. They will move to 28 points alongside the Wigan Warriors. Catalan Dragons work to do if they're going to join them with that points margin, or that total I should say. But London, they don't care about that, and Armitage is congratulated by his teammates here.
Well, the big man Sam Cassiano getting up quick on Guy Armitage, who steps off his right foot and ends up being almost round the neck and throat of the debutant. Cassiano, hand in field position, meters upfield to the Broncos.
Go.
Played across the channel with Toulon. Guy Armitage. Alongside London Welsh, London Irish, London Scottish and Wasps
Stand up, Elliot.
in the other code.
That's you, stand up. Go one.
Memorable debut so far.
Back here, hold, goal two.
Last time they won on this ground, it was Danny Ward's birthday.
Third. Move, Sam.
Restaurant owned by Eloi Polissier.
Goal third.
Got some attention that night, as far as I'm aware.
Four.
Could be a similar story if the scoreline stays as it is in Perpignan. 16 points to 4. The Broncos ahead. Cunningham gets the ball away, and it's a drop goal attempt from Brock Lamb. A successful one-pointer from Brock Lamb, the former Australian schoolboy. Extends the Broncos cushion. Every point vital. And now the visitors ahead by 17 points to 4.
Well, really smart decision there. Really smart decision. Brock Lamb, ultimately the player that drops the goal. They got centre field. All came off the back of that penalty from Sam Cassiano. He's in the pocket, strikes it beautifully, and splits the H's. What an accomplished performance it's been by the Broncos. They've done everything they needed to do. The aspect of the game that's impressed me, and I suspect it will be what Danny Ward speaks about, is the togetherness, their ability to defend for one another, turn up for one another. They haven't thrown that much in regards to shape and trying to break the Catalan Dragons down with wide shifts. Every time they've gone wide, they've got something from it. But again, it's been that teamwork, that teamship, and their attention to detail, getting to the back end of sets, playing the ball quickly, going off the back of a decent kicking game, and they fully deserve this if it is a victory.
Last one for the London Broncos. This time it's a kick from Jordan Abdul. Ricochets off a Catalan body. Wasn't played out though, says Liam Moore. But that drop goal from Brock Lamb has lifted London Broncos 3 scores clear.
Now that's head and feed to Catalan Dragons there. They're trying to get the ball in as quick as they can.
Time is off. Stay in that formation. Stay in the formation.
Is it going to be too little too late though for the men from Perpignan? Is this the moment where their tilt at Old Trafford hits the buffers? And is this the moment where London close in on 2 priceless points at the wrong end of the table?
Well, it's not impossible with just over 8 minutes to go, but it is improbable. They've looked nothing like the Catalan Dragons. Catalan Dragons, at their best, are a formidable rugby league team. But as we've said a number of times, they just don't look like a team at all.
Hold here, hold. Goal 2.
Lucas Albert. Great flick from Kenny Edwards, even better from Willie Arme, and that's released Lewis Tierney, and Tierney round a couple. Really important tackle as Walker holds on. Quick play of the ball though. Defensive questions being asked here by the hosts as Kenny Edwards is put to ground by Yates. He can't hold him down, he hasn't. Pass though goes nowhere. Composure completely gone AWOL there for Catalan Dragons. London Broncos are the ones under pressure at the end at the wrong end of the table, and they're the ones that have come up with the calmness to see this one through, or so it seems.
Goal 2.
Well,
third.
I'm astonished. I am. To be that close to the line, have two players at the side, a short option, a long option, and still managed to throw the ball on the floor. Still managed to find a wild pass. And they did well. It were nice fast hands. It was nice fast hands over on the other side to release Lewis Tierney. Last tackle.
40.
Second try from Christian Inu has extended Salford's cushion 44 points to 22 at the KCOM Stadium.
That's a big win for Salford away at Hull FC. I had Hull FC down for a win there. I thought at home they'd be good for that.
Dumped over the top by David Mead. Here is Matt Whitley. Good tackle though coming in from Elliot Keir, had to be as well. Decent play of the ball. Remy Casti finds Greg Bird. Skirts away from one, then gives it to Jordan Abdul.
Move! Hole.
Well, Greg Bird trying to create something, skips around a defender, thinks all I've got to do is draw Jordan Abdul and pass to my support player. And what does Jordan Abdul do? Sticks his hand out, tips it up, and then catches it.
Every time you're in the tackle, you just keep appealing to me. You're not going to get nothing, mate, by looking.
It looks easy by the Broncos, doesn't it?
So am I.
I think that's a bit of cramp there. Jordan Abdul worked incredibly hard throughout that match. And that looks a cracking game, doesn't it, Salford? Ian Watson done another coach that's done a good job with what he's got. And will they start to rattle enough cages to be taken seriously now, the Red Devils?
Two young English coaches doing well.
Okay, Jordan!
On away soil. Salford at Hull and London winning here, 17 points to 4. Thomas Bosk.
2. Move!
Disconsolate there, really. Face of thunder. As Yates takes the ball in again.
Move, Sam!
He gets through so much work.
Hold. Goal third.
The 24-year-old.
Held!
19 appearances in the NRL with Newcastle last year, a former New South Wales under-20s player. Good tackle. Puts Keir on the floor. That came in from Whitley.
Hold. Hold. Goal 5.
Abdul.
Clear.
Left foot kick.
5.
There's huge height on it again and almost collected.
Knock on. Hand over.
It was Armitage who was on the end of that. Just couldn't take the ball in. He rose highest. That was, the jump was excellent, but just couldn't secure the ball.
And why wouldn't you kick to him too? Rugby union player. I don't have his exact statistics there, but he looks about 6 foot.
Move! Back, James!
6'6", 6'7". Why wouldn't you kick to him? There are some elements of both games that can transfer across. Catching a high ball while it's in the air, timing that leap, being able to collect it would be one of them.
Move, James!
The Dragons marching downfield now.
Inside the last 5 minutes, what have Catalan Dragons got left?
Goal 4. Play on, play on!
Already beaten on this ground by the London Broncos. Is history going to repeat itself?
Through the line. Still 4.
Here is Gigo.
7 on the floor.
Mead. Who wants it? Whitley. Can't get away from the tackle of Jordan Abdul.
Move, back of your head. Hold, hold. Goal 5.
Mead. Greg Bird. Crossfield from Gigo.
Play on.
You could hear the scream from Gigo. As soon as he puts that kick in, he knows it's not right.
Move!
But guess what made him come up with that kick?
Goal 1.
A defender, a London Broncos player, putting pressure on him. There's Armitage again.
Relax, Greg.
He runs across, skips across, collects A high challenge and a penalty is awarded.
Greg, go away.
Greg Bird in the thick of it.
Get over there, let me deal with it. Get over there.
And Liam Moore doing his best to split the players up.
Let me deal with it. Get over there. Ed. Olsey, get over there.
There you go. Here it is. And Remy Casti, who isn't a dirty player, ends up giving the penalty away.
Get off.
There's a yellow card.
And let's guess who it's on.
Thank you.
Is it Greg Bird? Yes.
He's the one walking towards the sideline. And apologies if you did pick up any language there on the referee's microphone.
The penalty's here, boys.
That just sums up the afternoon and the state of mind that this team is in. Frustrated, ill-disciplined.
High tackle.
Not willing to do those basic things.
Also, Krasniki
on the foot.
Also saw yellow earlier in the game. London, Jamie Langley there alongside the top man, Danny Ward.
Goal one.
They kept their composure with 12 men.
Two.
And Greg Bird has just lost his.
Goal two.
To leave Catalan Dragons finishing this match a man short.
Third.
Jay Pitts carries the fight to the men from Perpignan once more.
Goal third.
Jordan Abdul. Now it's Yates, still buzzing, still lively.
Move it! Get here! Hold! Goal four.
Cunningham waits. Pitts now.
Five.
Solid carries.
If it isn't a kick over the sideline by Cunningham, there you go.
Touch there.
Exactly what was required.
Let's come down.
As Greg Bird cuts an isolated figure in the Catalan Dragons dressing room. Nothing he can do to change the complexion of this game, and is this the moment that the Dragons' push for Old Trafford comes to an end?
2 minutes, mate. Wait for me, please.
Plenty of twists and turns left.
Well, on this evidence, they look a million miles away from being one of two of the best teams in the competition who will contest the grand final.
Play it. Goal one.
The London Broncos outplayed them in every facet of the game.
Two.
Inside the last two now. 17-4.
Goal two.
The Broncos heading for back-to-back wins in Perpignan. They won a couple of months ago. It was only their third victory in 13 League and Cup visits.
And the Broncos again in defence, attacking while they're defending. They have big Sam Cassiano. He's got two defenders around him. It's a scruffy, untidy offload, but they're quick. First, eager to get down and scrap for anything that's available to them.
Closing in on 2 points here, and 3 huge games coming up for the London Broncos. They face 3 of the current bottom 5 going into play today. It's Leeds at home first up, then they go to Hull Kingston Rovers, then they go to Wakefield. The job is not done yet, but this is a huge step forward for Danny Ward's men. Brock Lamb taken down by Bousquet.
Hold it, boys. Hold, Sam. Hold. Wait. Goal one. Injured.
No need to do anything else here. The London Broncos, 1 out carries, slow play the balls down.
Yates.
Third. Move. Line. Hold. Hold.
9 metres away. Cunningham. Batty.
He's looking around Eddie Batty. What's going on?
Back here.
Nobody wants to play. Everybody wants to just see the sand on the timer just ebb away. And there it is. There's the final hooter. What a win for the Broncos.
Look what it means to the London Broncos. Look what it means to the Catalan Dragons. Is this the moment where their dreams of Old Trafford come to an end? They won at Wembley 12 months ago. They are desperate to get to the Super League Grand Final, but this is a huge step back for the skipper Remy Casti and his side. Lifted that trophy at the venue of legends last August. But is this the moment where they won't make the Theatre of Dreams? London will not care anything about that. They have a huge scrap of their own, and these are two priceless points as they go back-to-back in Perpignan. London Broncos beating the Catalan Dragons on their own patch for the second time in 2 months. 17 points to 4, the final score. They were 8-0 up at half-time. All the points from Kieran Dixon in that first period. Willie Arme hit back for the Dragons early on in that second period. But Alex Walker with a crucial try, improved by Dixon's penalty, and then a even more important really drop goal from Brock Lamb has made a huge scoreline and a huge 2 points for Danny Ward's men. 17 points to 4. Let's have a look at some of the best moments of that second period now.
Yeah, as you said, but 8-0 at half-time. Good value for it, weren't they? The London Broncos. This was the first try of the second half. Kenny Edwards, who made a difference when he came onto the field, finds an offload, a risky, speculative pass over his shoulder to Braden Willie-Arme. 4 points to 8 at that point there. Nice skip from Jay Pitts, finds an outside shoulder, attracts Samisoni Langi, creates some space, and Alex Walker, as all good fullbacks will do, tracking up in that middle channel to get on the end of the nice drawn pass from the impressive Rhys Williams. Rhys Williams, Kieran Dixon, Alex Walker, so impressed with their work, coming away from their own life, creating their own line, creating that momentum at the play of the ball. But they had so many opportunities, didn't they? So many chances. It was that last pass that let them down consistently. Kenny Edwards on that occasion, Samisoni Langi the previous one, and a cool head is given the responsibility of slotting over the 1 point. Brock Lamb nails it right between the H's. He took the scoreline to 17 points to 4, and a desperate Catalan Dragons tried in vain to claw it back, and it remained that scoreline.
A huge win for the London Broncos, the latest instalment in a compelling Super League weekend. Round 26 kicked off with that Kevin Nagama hat-trick as St Helens extended their lead at the top, 36 points to 20 winners at Headingley against the Leeds Rhinos. 24 hours later, the grand final repeat of 2018 went Wigan's way, 20 points to 6 against the Warrington Wolves. And then 2 games today. Hull hit back at 1 point in that match, but Salford in the end comfortably seeing off the challenge of the Black and Whites at the KCOM Stadium, and London with a huge 2 points. Brock Lamb seeing them through to a 17-4 win over the Catalan Dragons. 2 huge games coming up tomorrow. Huddersfield against Castleford. Huddersfield battling the drop, Castleford looking for the top 5 themselves, and then Hull KR and Wakefield is the very definition of a 4-pointer. Both of those games 3 o'clock kickoffs on Sunday afternoon. The other game, same time as this one, saw a comfortable win for Salford in the end, 44 points to 22, and here's the best moments from that game.
Well, what a game. Salford Red Devils getting the first points through ex-Hull KR player Ken Seo. He evades a challenge and just manages to keep his body rolling. The Black and Whites replied with 3 tries back-to-back. The first one from Scott Taylor. Scored plenty of tries so far in 2019, and he's on hand on that occasion to get his side back into the game. His partner in the front row, Mickey Peer, off a short pass. He barrels over to make the scoreline 12-6 at that point. And then they go over to the edge, don't they? They find some space. Big pass from Sneed, a draw and pass from Griffin, and for Emo, he gets a try over on that left side. Well, from that point on, Salford took control. 16-6 behind. First try, Mossop. The first of 2 from him in the afternoon. They go over to the right side, more or less the same as the first try. Ken Seo over on the right-hand side for Salford. Half-time, they go in. Ian Watson has given some words of wisdom. The scoreboard locked up at 16-6. They got the first try through Bibby. They got the second try, and his second of the game, through Lee Mossop. When the black and whites through Jordan Lane, they replied. You can just see he stays in motion, stays supporting Jake Connor, and he gets a try. 28-18 at that point. Claws it back to 22-28, and from that point, it was all about Salford, wasn't it? Jackson Hastings at the forefront. Krishnan Inu, he got a try as we watched. There's Hastings. What a miss he'll beat for Ian Watson's side. A basic try. Too many defenders there for Inu to be allowed to put that ball down. But what a game, what a result for the Red Devils.
A crucial day at the top end and the bottom end of the Betfred Super League table. Salford in that 5th spot. Castleford just 2 points behind, as are the Catalan Dragons. Real scrap for Old Trafford developing, and look at the battle at the bottom. Wakefield, 18 points, played 25. Huddersfield, 25 games, 18 points. Hull KR played 25, 18 points. Those 3 in action tomorrow, and London Broncos now join them on 18 points, having played a game more. But that will scare those 3, and possibly the Leeds Rhinos as well. The scrap to avoid the drop in 2019 is going to go right down to the wire. Meantime, final day of the second test between England and Australia, and England lead is currently 104. You can catch day 5 live on Sky Sports The Ashes from 10 a.m. in the morning. Next up for us, it's the Challenge Cup final. Warrington against St Helens, the top 2 in the Super League, do battle at Wembley. 8 o'clock on Sky Sports action. And we're back with 3 from the Betfred Super League the week after that. Thursday, August 29th, Salford against Warrington, 7 o'clock Sky Sports Arena. Same time, same channel, Friday night for St Helens against Castleford. And we round off with Catalan back in Perpignan, this time against Hull Kingston Rovers. 4:55, that's Saturday, August the 31st on Sky Sports Arena. But this day belongs to the London Broncos. They have clinched 2 priceless points that not many thought they would get. Back-to-back wins in Perpignan for Danny Ward's men. From Barry, myself and all the team here, it's goodbye.
Sky Sports. Feel it all.